Hello. The last video I made, somebody asked me a question about the cooling system on my Mercruiser 470 engine. So in this video, this is just a quick video trying to explain how I think it works. Bear in mind, I'm not a Mercruiser expert. These aren't how-to videos. It's just my opinion on how it works and how the water circulates, where the water pumps are and everything. So that's what this is for. I hope it's of some use to the person that asked me the question. Okay, we'll start by the raw water. Okay, the raw water is sucked in through these vents. There's a water pump in the leg which drives off a drive shaft here, which then pumps water up through the through the back of the leg into a pipe where it goes through the shield, which then connects to this hose, which is on the back of the engine. It's a 3/4 hose, which runs down the side of the engine. It goes through the back of that regulator pack in there. It then comes out the other end of the regulator pack into the end of the heat exchanger. That raw water then goes through the heat exchanger along there, and it comes out the end of the heat exchanger here up into that oil cooler there, which is, I think, is for the power steering. Then comes around and up into the exhaust system just here, and that is then discharged down the exhaust system out of these, in between the exhaust pipe and the cast of the housing there, and that water cools that oil cooler, and also cools the exhaust pipe as it comes out of here down the back of the engine. That's the raw water. Now this engine has its own water jacket, which means that the cooling system of the engine is sealed. No raw water goes into the actual engine block. Okay, so this is where you top it up with a water and antifreeze mixture. If we go to the water pump, I'll try and explain how the water flows. Okay, this thing here, this piece here, all that is the water pump. The water pump is driven off the end of the camshaft. Okay, it's a centrifugal water pump, so it's got vanes on an impeller in there which spin round, which picks the water up at the middle of the water pump, and it pumps it along here into the bottom of the engine block through the timing cover, through that part there. It then circulates around the engine, coming out here in the top of the head. From the top of the head there, it comes round into the exhaust manifold, and with the thermostat shut, the water goes through the exhaust manifold. Let me just turn around. Through the exhaust manifold till it gets to the back, where it comes out under here, under the back of the exhaust manifold, comes around the back of the engine, and there it goes into the bottom of the inlet manifold. The inlet manifold has got an oil cooler in the bottom of it. Okay, which are these two pipes here. They're oil pipes, and they go into like an oil cooler in here, and then the water comes out the other end of the inlet manifold back round to be picked up by the center of the water pump. Okay, now when your engine gets to working temperature, in the bottom of the manifold you have a thermostat housing, which is here. When that thermostat opens, it deflects water down this pipe here, down that pipe there, into the heat exchanger here. Okay, now the heat exchanger's got two compartments in it, one for raw water and then one for cooling jacket water. The cooling jacket water then is fed through there, being cooled by the cold raw water up this pipe here, back in to the exhaust manifold where it starts the process again. Okay, I hope that that explains it. There's a couple of other things to note on the cooling system here. Is in the bottom of this timing cover you have got a water drain, which is that bung there behind the front pulley. So if you drain it down for winter, you need to take this bung out, which is behind the front pulley, so it drains the water out of the bottom half of this water pump. Okay, that will save any frost damage in here. Okay, there is also a weep hole in here. Just there is a weep hole. Okay, hole goes up and it is in between the seal for the camshaft on the water pump. And what that does is, if your water pump starts leaking, then it will not, instead of putting water into the oil jacket, into the sump of the engine, it weeps out this hole, weeps out that hole. Okay, so that's the weep hole and the water drain for the water pump. You also have two water drains on the bottom of the heat exchanger there. This one here is for raw water, and that one there is for cooling system water, and that drains all the water out of your heat exchanger. This is the starter solenoid, and I know it seems odd to put a starter solenoid in the cooling video, but behind it, if I can just get my camera in to show you, underneath there is, if I can get it to focus, a drain bung. I'll see if I can get a better picture of it. In here, behind the engine starter relay, is a drain bung. That is the drain bung that drains the block water jacket. This bit here is the water jacket, and that there is the drain bung, and that's so you can let all the water out the block if you're worried for frost damage. And that is behind the engine starter relay, which is there. Okay, I hope that answers the question about the cooling jacket and the cooling system. Give us a thumbs up if you liked it, if you found it informative. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. There's quite a few videos on that engine in bits and put back together. And hopefully see you soon. Thank you very much for watching it, and I'll catch you on the next video. Cheers, bye.